All right, so this is a little bit of a demo of a new class format that I'm working on. It's kind of about the idea of rolling to warm your tissues up, using contract relax work to get a little bit deeper into your tissues, and then using some restorative yoga poses to allow any change that we made to be well integrated into the nervous system as well, so we can keep that change in our bodies for longer. So what we're going to be focusing on today is our hip flexors and our hips. So like I said, we're going to start with a little bit of rolling. Now, if you don't do myofascial release, or if your body isn't accustomed to it, you might start out with something a little softer. I actually thought this was a dog toy, but it's not. It's like a child's toy, but it works really well because it's a little squishy. It's got these pointy parts that aren't really too disturbing, but just provide a little bit more sensation. This ball is a little bit more firm, so depending on what you like, what your body's used to, what it's going to respond best to, go with that. And if you're not sure, try something softer first. So our first thing that we're going to focus on is something called the iliacus, and that is a muscle inside of your pelvis. So if you could bring your fingers to the front of your hip and find those bony prominences, and we're going to call that your iliac crest because it comes all the way up and then all the way forward, down. It'll go all the way back into your low back as well. But once you find those bony parts, know that we're going to place the ball right inside of the bony part, almost like we're drawing the tissue away from where it inserts on the bone, bringing a little bit of slack into the muscle belly, and then we'll do some pin and stretch, keeping that pinned, stretching away from it, some contract relax work with our breath, breathing into the ball and then exhaling as the ball gets a little bit deeper. So let's go into that right now. The way that I like to come into this, let's say if I'm starting with the ball on my right side, I'm going to come down to my forearms, extend my legs behind me. So if you're familiar with Sphinx pose, we'll start there. And then bring the left knee out to the side so you have something to like prop yourself up on. And what this is gonna do is allow you to have a point to push into to back away from the ball if you need to. So let's go ahead and place that ball right on the inside of your iliac crest. All right, and then let your hands come down onto the ground and start to find a place. We're gonna roll alongside that ridge, on the inside of the ridge where it's fleshy, not directly on the bone. And then use your inhale to press the ball out of you. So as you breathe in, resist the ball. Feel the sides and the backs of the ribs expand. And then as you're exhaling, let the exhale sink the ball in a little deeper. Don't even try too much to let it happen. Use your inhale to push the ball out. And as you exhale, naturally the ball might sink in a little deeper. We're going to take one more breath like that. Inhale through the nose. Feel the sides, back, and belly expand as you exhale. Let that ball scuba dive in just a little bit more. I love that word. I got that from my stretch bodywork teacher, Julia. I know you're out there. And then once we get there, we're going to diagonally move the ball towards our navel, about halfway towards our navel. So I'm going to scoot my hips over towards the right a little bit. And now, to make sure that you're on the muscle, press your right knee into the floor. And if you feel like there's a muscular, push into the ball, then you're on the right spot. You're on your psoas. Try it one more time, just in case you need to know. Press the right thigh into the ground. Make sure you're on the psoas. You'll feel it kind of flex the ball out, and then relax. And what we're going to do here is a little bit of pin and stretch. So we're going to keep that pin and start to pull your ribs away from the ball so you can move side to side. I really like, let's see if the ball's on the right side, I like to pull my ribs over towards the left. And then another way to pin and stretch is move the body parts below the ball. So I'm gonna shift over to the side so you can see where I'm at. Bend my left knee as a prop. I'm gonna take that ball right back into my hip flexor. And then if you'd like, you can always bend this knee and give it a little windshield wipe from side to side. This feels less yummy and helpful for me. It feels a little bit less stabilizing and juicy than rising up through my ribs and moving, but you might find something different. So then from here, we'd go ahead and press ourselves up. Take a breath in when you press yourself up, so you're pushing that ball out. And we're gonna do everything on one side and then go on over to the other side after we've done everything. So moving on to the second stretch, we'll take that ball right on the outside of our right hip. So find that crest again, and you're gonna go right below the crest where it gets really fleshy and meaty. And it's gonna be a little bit more towards the side of your hip rather than to the dead center of your glute. We're not attacking your piriformis. And let's extend the right leg. Step the left foot over the right thigh and use your right hand and left foot to lift yourself up so that you can give yourself a little bit of rolling from side to side. Find that one spot that you might like to stick in and walk your right hand over to the side. Let your rib cage kind of melt down so you're lengthening that QL muscle and providing a pin in the glute medius muscle. If you want a little bit more from here, you might bring right leg up, turn your toes in, turn your toes out, breathe. And then go ahead and relax down. Next thing we're gonna do is keep the ball exactly where it is. Keep the left foot in front of your right thigh and slide your right arm long so your right ear is on your right arm. Now I'm gonna drop the inside of my left knee towards the ground, and that's gonna relieve a little bit of pressure off the ball. We're still gonna have it right around that fleshy part of our glute, not inside of our piriformis, but a little bit more lateral to the side of it. Take a breath in, stretch the left arm over your head, and as you exhale, lean back to the floor behind you. And when you lean back and stretch the left hand behind you, that's gonna put a little bit more pressure into the ball. Again, you can roll it back into the right place. And go ahead, bring your left hand to the outside of your, bring your right hand to the outside of your left thigh and press your left thigh up into your hand for 3, 2, 1. And as you exhale, let it descend over and look over towards the left. Now, if you want a little bit more and you're feeling flexible, you might also bend the right knee, keeping that ball exactly where it is. Reach your left hand down to the right foot. This time we'll kick right foot into the left hand, left thigh up into the right hand. Hold that for 3, 2, 1. Relax and settle into the stretch. Awesome. So let's pretend we spent some time there. We're gonna come all the way back up. Take the ball out to the side, thank it. Cross your left ankle in front of your right thigh with your right knee bent, and we're gonna walk our hands over towards the right, dropping down towards our forearms, giving our rib cage a little bit of a twist. Feel free to rock the body from side to side. You might feel this more in the hips or more in the ribs. It's all connected, it's all a good thing. And if it would be comfortable here, you might plug in something like a yoga prop to keep the forehead lifted up, or you might start to lie down on the ground. Keep spiraling left thigh away from your chest. Then I'm going to slide my right arm in front of me and open up my left arm behind me. Go ahead and pull your legs back through center. Relax your feet down. Give yourself some windshield wipers. And then stand up and just be curious. Does your movement feel different when you walk? How do your hips feel if you were to swing one leg in front of you, one leg behind you, leg out to the side, over? Give it some honest movement and test it out. See what feels good for you. Let me know how this worked for you. And don't forget to start the video over and do all of that on the other side.